working right now, can catch up later. And let me get our screen share. Are you all seeing the slide fashion industry overview? Okay, good. All right. Just as usual, please make sure that you all will get your attendance points for being able to join us today. Those that are watching the lecture via recording, they'll need to do the summary write-up. And then please make sure you take part in your forum discussion. That's been moved to Thursday to post your initial discussion and then respond to a classmate by Saturday. And that's about 25 points to your attendance. All right, our topics this week, if you hadn't had a chance already to review, there's laws that affect the fashion industry. Some of them may sound familiar. We've touched on them in other classes, but we just want to make sure you're very aware of them as you go out into the design world. Fashion Week, it's something coming up, a big event, so I'll talk more about it in a second. And getting ready for your externship and job interviews. That's really key. You're getting near the end of your program. And our featured designer this week is going to be Vera Wang. So your assignments, your forum discussion, and the final exam. The fashion law activity, I'll describe some of that here in a moment if you haven't gone through and seen that assignment yet. You will write up a resume. I do have a template on there that you'll be able to use if you'd like, and some interview questions. Again, I'll talk some more about that in depth. And then our featured designer illustration. So, on the laws affecting fashion, we've got kind of two parts here. One regulates the competition and really business entities. The list on the right-hand side really definitely applies to the fashion industry specifically. So your assignment will be pick one of these laws and investigate it. There's some points on there, find out when it was instituted, when it's been used, things like that. And it's a 250-word essay, so it's pretty quick. But I'm wanting you to look in depth at these. All the ones on the right-hand side, we talked about in textiles class. We've touched on it, but here you're going to investigate one of them a little bit more thoroughly. Fashion Week. So right now, over in Paris and Milan and other New York, the couture shows are showing. So the designers that have the really high-level lines, they're doing all their fashion shows. But February 10th is when the ready-to-wear lines are shown by the designers. And it's a pretty exciting time. Even though it is February or super early spring for us, they will be showing the fall collections for 2016 because the the buyers and the editors of magazines would be coming to attend these shows. Now that originally was the main audience, but now it's expanded to include the high dollar clients, celebrities. They like to have celebrities along their front rows so people can see who's watching, who's wearing them. And even more, it's becoming more and more accessible to everyday public. Here we go, and I have another one popping up. It's called Fashion Week Online. It's a online link that is really good to check it out. I'm just hoping it's going to pop up here in a sec. But it's also in your little lesson page on My Course Connection, the Fashion Week Online. Starting on February 10th, they will have live shows streaming there. So you can watch some of the shows. They'll be pretty good. And then also on that site, if for some reason you were in New York, or think about this for future stuff, if you're in New York around Fashion Week, there are ways you could get a ticket, probably going to be pretty costly, but there's also other ways that you can volunteer and perhaps work with it and still get some insider sort of feel and accessibility. They have all kinds of ways on that online link, Fashion Week Online. that show you how to do that. Now, it might be a little too late to try and get in on this one, but like I said, if you find yourself in New York in September, or maybe in Paris or Milan a week or two after that, wouldn't hurt to check it out, right? Okay. And here's our featured designer, Vera Wang, this week. I don't know how familiar you may be with her. She was covered in the designer book in week 1, so you'll probably have to do a little more research or investigation on her just to see some of her style. I do have a link there to a video interview with her on my Course Connection. It's about a 27-minute video, so just make sure you got some time to sit and watch it. But it's a really nice little bio caption of her and her career. These are just some examples. She originally started with wedding gowns and formal wear, and then she's expanded into now what's called the White Cloud line, where some of the wedding dresses in that are around $1,400, which, I mean, that's a big price tag, but it's still within the realm of many brides, budgets and things. So, she designs everything from $30,000 gowns to $1,500 gowns. And then over here on the left are some of her pieces from her ready-to-wear collection from this last spring. All right, career services. So Mandy Zachary, if you've been up to my office, and she's been there because we share the same office space, hopefully you've got a chance to meet her. If not, this is what she looks like. And she's going to be part of our resume writing assignment this week. One, because she's very integral in helping place you after you're done with school. She also keeps tabs on the companies that a lot of our students have done their externship at. She is excellent at looking at resumes and trying to help you make yours kind of very individual. So on your assignment where you write your resume, it is a template. You can go through and just fill in that information. You could, if you want, put it into a Word document and format it how you want to. You can do that as well. But we start you with the template just so that you make sure you provide all the basic information, you don't forget anything, and then you'll probably be surprised at the skill list you have acquired over this program. So look through that, and if you feel confident that's a skill that you can boast that you're good at, keep it on there. And then for that assignment, you will email her one of your resumes, and then you'll also post one up on the assignment as well for me to review. But we'd like her to get you started in the system. Like I said, some of you just have a couple classes, a few others have a few more before you're at the end of the program, where you will be getting your externship. And the externship is a 90-hour kind of work experience that you need to do with a company that gives you access to utilizing some of the skills and things you've learned through this program. We have a list of some businesses we've worked with, but we also need you to provide some ideas of where do you think you would like to do it. You might even have connections with people that we're not even familiar with. And so we ask that you kind of come up with at least 3 ideas. And Mandy does some wonderful assistance work with helping, check out those places, see what they can do. And then she also makes sure that we get all our I's dotted and our T's crossed correctly for our contracts with any company that you do work with, so that we make sure we meet our accreditation requirements. And one other part with the resume writing is what's called the interview questions. That's another assignment. And so that one, it's got several questions that are very common that you may have been asked in interviews. And if you've ever interviewed for jobs, which you have because you guys have had jobs, you've probably been asked these questions. And so we want you to take the opportunity now to go through and give yourself the time to think about it and write, a good answer that way it helps so that you're practiced that when you're in that interview, um, everybody's nervous. I still get nervous when I do interviews, and I've been working too many years to even count on two hands for sure. Um, so, it's good to have those practiced, and we just want to give you a chance to do that as well. That kind of brings me to the end of what I'm trying to definitely share with you right now, but I also want to take this opportunity, if you've got any questions, to answer any of those. So let me see if I can finish. There we go. Okay. Okay. It's a requirement of 90 hours total. Now, the time slot that shows on your schedule shows about a 3-week period, but usually we'll extend that out about 4 weeks. That way you can kind of spread it out to approximately 20 hours a week kind of thing. 1 week or 2 weeks you might have to get a little bit more than that. They are not required to have to be a paid extern or a paid position. In some instances, there's certain kind of criteria you have to kind of qualify for it. But if you need to expand that out over a longer time period, we can look at trying to get you started sooner than that class actually begins to happen. So if you're like, I work full time, so I only have about 10 hours a week, let's say a Saturday and maybe one night or 2 evenings a week, that you could say, try and find some hours you could work. The sooner we start looking at that and see if we can get you in someplace so that you can spread that out over time, it will be to your benefit. All right. And with that, what we're looking for is an opportunity that you're going to use some of the skills you've been learning. We've had some companies around town. One's called Great Stitch, another one's Game Day Couture. We've had a furrier here in town. Several alteration shops that students have worked with, and sometimes the alteration shops work a little bit more flexible with hours. We've even had 1 or 2 where they were very flexible, or they were able to train you in something, and then you were able to take the task home and do it, and say, okay, it took me so long to do this. And then they'll log you for 2, 4, 5 hours, whatever it might be that it took you. So those may be some different options, and I know each of you have different scenarios. So I think a one-on-one kind of conversation with each of you and the others in the class that aren't here with me today will be the best thing, because we can kind of tune it to what works for each of you. Okay. All right. Did that kind of help with what you were thinking about? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Cool. And I'll since y'all will be sending your resumes to Mandy, it's good because that kind of, she knows then you're getting close and puts you on her radar of thinking, all right. And what you'll probably find out from her is she'll respond, hey, what are you, if you're working, what are your work hours? What are you free? What are your open things? What could you do? Things like that. All right. Cool. Any other questions? Okay. All right. Well, then that'll wrap us up for our live lecture. And like I said, we'll arrange some more one-on-one. We can either do it over the phone, or you're also welcome to stop in and stuff through here, that we can start exploring those ideas. Okay. All right. And you guys don't have to do the summary. You came today, so you'll get your 10 points on that assignment. Okay. All right. Thank you. And this part is for those watching the recorded version. You will have to do the summary. Oh, my lights went out. There we go. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording now.